Things you don't know about Niki Caro, producer of Disney's 2020 live-action Mulan. Nicola Jean Caro is a New Zealand film director and screenwriter. Her 2002 film Whale Rider was critically praised and won a number of awards at international film festivals. She was hired to direct the 2020 live-action version of the Disney's Mulan, making her the second female and the second New Zealand director hired by Disney to direct a film budgeted at over $100 million. Let's get to know some fascinating things about the amazing producer Niki Caro. Number 1. Birthplace and education. Caro was born in Wellington, New Zealand. She attended Kadima College, Auckland, then Diocesan School for Girls, where she received an alumni award. Caro graduated with a BFA from the Elam School of Fine Arts and University of Auckland in 1988 and received a postgraduate diploma in film from the Swinburne University of Technology in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. Number 2. First career. Caro first found interest in working with metal sculptures, but later changed it into film. She did not receive any formal training in the field, but instead began by reading narrative film books and writing rough draft or script. Caro's mother would type her handwritten drafts while she finished writing each one. Caro's first experience in directing was when she was hired to create commercial for different companies such as New Zealand Land Transport Safety Authority, Nike, and Tower Insurance. But it was only after being signed by a production company to write and direct for the television series Another Country that she had her first breakthrough. She did not have any experience in directing, but it felt it was instinctual once she started working with the actor. Number 3. Personal life and family. Caro is married to architect Andrew Lister, and they have 2 daughters, Tui and Pearl. Their first daughter was born shortly after the success of Whale Rider. Because Caro was pregnant, she was unable to attend any of the premieres of the film. Caro said she was sad, but at the same time thought it may not be such a bad thing because success in America is so radical. Number 4. Caro never felt that gender was an impediment to her work as a director. Approximately 4% of Hollywood films are directed by women, and Caro finds that very depressing. She said that she started during a politically correct time when gender issues were increasingly explored. She started her career with the film Whale Rider, though she felt that the themes of girl power often struck her as being a bit old-fashioned. She also committed to entering the Maori culture, learning about it and representing it well. The Maori leaders who helped her to understand their culture enabled her to tell their story. She said that she didn't think much about her own gender-free attitude as a director, but her crew had more specific ideas about that. They were not always as accepting of a woman as a director. It was during that time when she realized how unusual it was to be a woman director, but it was also the time when she decided that she would simply move ahead and do what she does as a director. Number 5. Caro believes it is a privilege to make a film. She encourages new directors and producers to remember that someone has given them the money to tell a story. She believes that it's important to take the opportunity provided and tell the story working with real people in real environments. She said that directors should always have something to offer and to offer their very best with each film. She said that directors should treat their project with respect, making sure that the script is ready, that they really believe in the story they are telling, that they understand what deserves being said, and finally being acutely aware of who the audience for the story is. She believes the financial opportunity given is one that should never be squandered. Number 6. Caro likes telling true stories. She is most interested in going into communities and getting to know people. She likes encountering people whose lives she must get to know. She goes to experience what it's like to eat with people, see how they live, and live their experiences. She admits that her own middle-class background in the New Zealand has been very privileged, and that is exactly why she must immerse herself in cultures she does not understand. She said that she does not need to be so clever, she just needs to work with real locations with real people so that she can hang out and tell their true stories. Number 7. She loved giving the zoo animals their best day. She loved giving the zoo animals their best day in their lives when filming The Zookeeper's Wife. Caro had decided that for her, CGI was not the way for her film. After speaking with her brilliant set designer, she learned that the designer had discovered a wonderful former park in Czech Republic which could be created into the perfect historic zoo. Caro made the decision to build the zoo in the park location. The storyline included bombing the zoo and the animals fleeing into the city. She pondered over what to do about letting the lions and tigers loose. Her animal keepers was an experienced circus hand, and he convinced her that her decision to film real animals loose in the city was correct. But to keep the city safe, each animal has filmed in contained spaces skillfully created on the city street. The realism which resulted in those series of decisions made all the difference in the film, and Caro was very happy for the film and the zoo animal. Number 8. Caro was learned not to fear fear when working with film industry men. The advice came from a casting director. Caro was just beginning the process of filming North Country. The casting director was a woman who taught Caro how she would gain confidence while working in the film world, which has been traditionally dominated by men. It must have been wise advice because Caro noted that while in the past she had to fight for films, now she is offered the director's role for many. Number 9. She had an orthodox education. Coincidentally, even though her family is not Jewish, she was educated at a school in a synagogue in Auckland, New Zealand. She had all the Christian and Jewish holidays off, but she was never in school. Her parents both worked and didn't have children, so they dropped her and her brother off in the city and they would go to movies. Invariably, they would come out the movies and the policeman would stop them, say why they are not in school. They generally say, well, it's Yom Kippur. They didn't know what they are talking about because there are hardly any Jewish people in New Zealand. So the police take them to their dad's office. They generally see a lot of movies in Jewish holidays. Number 10. Movies plus ice cream is her happiest memory. Bedknobs and Broomsticks was the first movie I loved. I could not believe it. It was so good. I have a very strong memory of being in the theater and then there was an intermission. I thought the film was over. I could not believe there was more movie after the break. And during the break I got to have an ice cream. It was like heaven. I was about 7 or so, I suppose. It just made me feel so good. When I got older, my path to movie making really came through art school. I made a film where I was there with my mother because she liked to be in my film, my father's dog and my boyfriend. That got me into film school. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check all of the other videos I have made about Mulan. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button below and don't forget to share this video with your friends.